The PS4 era was full of amazing and captivating games, delivering brilliant new characters and unforgettable games. But one of the games that does get some flack, or not as fondly remembered as, is 2019's Days Gone, a post apocalyptic open world zombie game with a bit of Sons of Anarchy mixed in for good measure. Reviews were mixed, sales weren't that strong, but an apparent sequel was canned and many were disappointed with the news. So, out of nowhere, we have a remaster of the game for PS5. So, let's see how they did, shall we? The story of Days Gone follows Deacon St. John, played by Star Wars star and superfan Sam Witwer. He's a biker and bounty hunter for hire, trying to survive in this dangerous world where no one can be trusted. There's several overarching storylines, but the most prominent one is the one for him searching for his missing wife, who was whisked away during the chaos of the beginning of this disaster. The story is pretty darn good, with some lovely cutscenes set in the past to build up the story. And whilst most of the supporting characters, bar Boomer, Sarah, and Deacon himself, are a little bit bland, I was really engaged. Just don't go into it expecting The Last of Us style writing, as I do think a lot of people did go in with it with that mindset and were a bit disappointed. On to the gameplay now, and it's an open world action game where you explore the devastated open world of Oregon, fighting, crafting, and surviving. Your main tool is your motorbike, and you have to keep it topped up with fuel and fix it, as well as upgrading it. And thankfully, you don't have to spend too much time upgrading and crafting stuff, as you gain most of the resources you need just by playing the game, which other games really do lack, as a lot of other games have a lot of busy work. There's none of that here whatsoever. The story missions are fun. They start off a bit slow but get way more extravagant. But easily the most incredible thing about the gameplay is the zombie hordes, where hundreds, if not thousands, of zombies chase after Deacon and you have to try and take them down. There's quite a few of these scenarios in both the story and the side stuff, and they're absolutely adrenaline pumping, tense situations that are still technically impressive after all these years. You've really never played anything quite like it. The rest of the gameplay is your usual open world stuff of collecting bits and defeating camps, but unlike Ubisoft games, this feels super fun, mainly due to how fun and enjoyable the game is to play. The shooting, crafting, driving all feels great. Add into it the upgrades that can improve Deacon's ability, and you have a blast continuously throughout the game. Let's talk about the actual remaster, and very much like Horizon and Last of Us Part 2, it's pretty standard stuff with the graphics being slightly improved, definitely popping up more on a 4K display, with higher frame rates of 60 FPS at 1440p or 4K at 30 FPS. It's cool, but nothing really mind blowing. That being said, the zombie hordes at 60 FPS is really spectacular, and there's also going to be a free update with variable refresh rates at 40 FPS as well, if that's your thing. Thankfully, all the technical hitches of the original at launch are all gone. Load times are fast and there's no glitches during my playthrough whatsoever. There's also new quality of life stuff like audio cues for collectibles, haptic feedback, which is always a nice inclusion, and also accessibility options, which are always brilliant to see as it allows for more people to play games and enjoy them. As for new content, you do get all the previously released content that was included for free with the original release, like New Game Plus, Extra Difficulty, Permadeath Mode, and the new Fun Challenge Mode. I've never played the Challenge Mode before, but I did play it for this release, and it's a blast with some great little scenarios that are set out here, and they're very fun to play. There is one new mode here and it's called Horde Assault, and it sees you enter in a fairly big open world scenario, having to complete missions and defeat bigger and bigger hordes of zombies. It's tense, fun and full of unlockables and a cracking new addition, and I can see me sinking loads of hours into it. As for the price and the situation of the release, Days Gone Remastered is available now as a digital only release, which is really disappointing as I'd love a physical edition of this game on my shelf, especially since they've released Until Dawn, Horizon, and Last of Us Part 2 as physical. It is a bit shame, and it does really feel like Sony isn't really bothered about this release by just releasing it. digitally. But anyway, it's around about £45 to buy off the PSN store, or if you own the game previously, it's just a £10 upgrade. I did the latter, and for £10 it's well worth it. My advice is try and find a cheap copy of the PS4 version, either brand new or pre-owned, and get the £10 upgrade that way. Conclusion time now, and Days Gone is the same great game for all those years ago, just with a slightly new coat of paint and a few additions. It's the best version of the game to play, with all the modes included and the new Horde Assault mode, which is a blast. It won't win over the haters of the original, but if you've never played it, it's well worth playing. And whilst it may not be much of a remaster, it's the one most deserving of a second chance. So with that, I'm giving Days Gone Remastered an 8.5 out of 10 with a title of great. Thank you ever so much for watching my review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you could like and subscribe, that'd be totally awesome. And as always, till next time, take care and see you on the next video. Bye.